Okay. There we are. Hi, everybody. Let me switch. Okay. Hi, everybody. Yay. Hi. How are you? I missed you guys. It's only been a week, but I feel like it's been forever. Hi, Tina. Hi, Yvonne. They said hi, George.
Hello.
So how's everybody doing? We have a fun painting this time tonight. Um, it's not gonna be difficult at all, and it's gonna be kind of a peaceful scene. I think you'll like it. I'll walk you through it. How's everybody doing? Doing okay? I hope we have more joining us soon. Don't forget to hit the like so I'll know who all is here. And jump on, say hi to me, and I'll know you're there. The more company I have, the happier I'll be. Oh. So, can you guys hear me well? Yep, it's going to be relaxing. So, you must have heard that. You must hear me okay. All right. So the way I have things set up, I keep figuring new things out. So I should not have.
I'm in the picture.
What do you mean, babe? You're what?
I'm in the.
Oh, are you? Oh, they can see you. Oh, that's okay.
Thanks.
How are you, Yvonne? Erica, hi. Oh, I'm glad when you guys jump on and say hi, and we all know who's here, and we feel like we have like a little paint and chat going on. It makes it official. What I'm going to do is I use my, I have a little bit of water mixed with a little bit of this airbrush medium. Not always that easy to find, granted, and it's not the cheapest stuff in the world, and that's why I put a little water in it. But it keeps me from using too much water on my canvas, especially at the beginning. But I like to wet it a little bit, so that's my little solution to that. And it makes the paint go on a lot smoother. So I'm going to go ahead and throw some paint on the background so that we can go a little bit faster without dragging it out too much. And then I'll chat with you a little more once that dries. So with my airbrush medium and my water solution, I'm just going to, because I didn't paint a background right away, this background is not going to be the same the whole canvas, and so it's too complicated to tell you exactly what to put on the background ahead of time like I do sometimes. But I did put the colors in the description. So you guys could follow along a little bit easier, especially if you don't do it tonight, if you paint it later. I got a little smoosh on there. Yeah, so if you paint it a little bit later, it'll be easier for you to follow along because the colors are already there. And so I'm just covering my canvas. And I go horizontally and I go diagonally just to make sure I didn't miss anything. I would probably do the same thing if I was cutting the lawn, but I don't cut lawn. So, probably be good exercise, but it's too late to start that kind of stuff now. Okay. So I threw that on there. Now we're going to be using a color that I don't always use. I just kind of discovered this, although I've had it included in some of my little packets of paint before. This is Brilliant Blue, but you could also use Manganese Blue. I'm gonna get my, let's see, here we go. All right, now I can talk to you a little bit. It's one of those deep aqua blue. It's much more blue than it is green. So it is a blue, but it has a bit of a turquoise look to it. So I'm going to put that on the palette because I'm going to be using a lot of that. And then I'm going to switch over when we get to our water to that mixed with an ultramarine blue. So I'm putting that on the palette. And if the palette gets too messy, I'll switch it so that we can follow a little bit easier. I might do a little bit more on there too. Okay. And then another color that I don't always use that I started using, well, I do use it in some of my paintings that I do on my own. I just want to use it with you guys. I don't know if I've used it with you all before, but it's Titan Buff. And it's kind of a dark white, beigey color. So I'll be using that too. So I'm going to put this down here and hopefully you can see it. You can see the edge of it. Let me see. Move everything over just a tad. Okay, let's see. Oh, I'm going the wrong direction. Okay, there we go. It's opposite day on my camera. Okay, and here's my Titan Buff. I'll put right here. Okay. So now that I put that on there, I'm going to catch up real quick and see who. Hi, Sherry. Oh, how are you? And Tina Blaylock. Hi, how are you? I'm so glad you're here. Wow, we have a nice little group already, and we're just getting started, so we'll probably have more a little bit later. This is going to be a nice beachy scene, but I have a beach painting from before that was very daylight and very light, and this is going to be more sunset, evening, going into the night. Leanne, good morning. It is plain white now. I just wet it down. Okay. So if anyone sees a question on there and I miss it, just answer for whoever's coming in late. And if you have a question, put it in all caps and then somebody will see you because I will be doing some painting. Okay. So I'm wetting my brush. And right now I am going to start at the top, and that will make my canvas be upside down. So mind you, this is upside down, and I am putting my Titan Buff on here. So this is actually the bottom of the painting that I'm painting right now. It's called Titan Buff, and I explained it a couple of minutes ago. Okay, it's not really a white, but it's in the white family. So if you painted your walls this color, it would probably look more white, but on the canvas it looks more on the beige side. And in the tube it looks more on the beige side. It's called Titan Buff. And it's a very fun color to work with. So this is one of my personal picks, Angie's favorites, that I've been playing with for a while, but now I'm introducing it more to you as a fun color choice to mix in with your paintings. Okay, some people use this for a complexion. It's not really a very alive complexion, but that's what some people use it for. I find it much more fun to use it for everything else. Okay, so I'm going about halfway the painting with this Titan Buff. And the colors are in the description. Okay. So now this is upside down. So I am going to flip it the other way. Let me make it a little more straight. Okay. I'm gonna flip it now this direction. Okay. And for those of you who are watching from afar and we haven't met yet, my name is Angie Green and I am with Painting with Fibromyalgia, both on YouTube and also on Facebook as a group of those people who paint or like art and also have chronic pain of any kind. You'll also find me on all the other platforms. Most of them have Painting with Fibromyalgia also in the name. But for YouTube, you don't have to have chronic pain. If you don't have chronic pain but you like art, you like to do an easy painting that's uplifting, stick around. You're still in the right place. And say hi. We'll say hi to you. We're a bunch of nice people, I hope. I hope you think so. So join us. And if you like what you see, a bunch of non-dramatic, calm, happy people, hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell so you'll know when we're on live again. We paint together not every Saturday, but most Saturdays at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. So this is kind of let you know what time to try to find us. I'm using a large brush. This is my favorite brush company, and I don't want you to think that I am selling anything. I am not in any kind of sponsorship relationship with anybody, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you who this is. It's Utrecht Brushes Tuscany series. And these are my favorite brushes to use because I am not the nicest person to my brushes, and these brushes hold up under all of my abuse, and I just love these brushes. So they are medium range cost. They're not the most expensive and they're not the least expensive either. Okay, but they're very good brushes. So let's see. This, I'm going to wipe off the Titan Buff off of my brush. I rinsed it off. And now I'm going to dip into, whoops, messed up a little bit. I'm going to dip straight into my Brilliant Blue. Brilliant Blue is another color that I discovered, but much more recently. Just looking at it in the tube looked like nothing I wanted to ever use. And I actually love it. So this is actually the sky. Now the canvas is right side up. And I'm using my Brilliant Blue to paint across. And I'm going to come down to meet my Titan Buff. And then I'm going to be introducing my Ultramarine Blue into that, into the mix at a certain point, but not all over. Okay, so this is basically the sky color. And this is that first coat of the sky color. And then we're gonna, because it's early in the painting and we're not doing this to rush along and avoid taking a break, it's the beginning of the painting, so I might just go ahead and use the blow dryer. I hardly ever use a blow dryer because a lot of times a blow dryer is used towards the end of the painting when we're already tired and it's time to take a break. But when it's at the beginning of the painting, I don't have a problem with it. Okay, because we still have plenty of time to rest and chat and take a break and get something to drink and so forth. So it's still the beginning of the painting. We just got started. I'm going to use the blow dryer here so that I can introduce my Titan White back into my painting. Okay, so I'm putting some Titan White back. Titan Buff. I call it Titan White by mistake sometimes, but it is a white and it's called Titan Buff. And I am going to turn down my sound. Don't let me forget to turn it back up. Let's see. You like this hair dryer? I've had this for a while because I don't use. I did. I don't use a hair dryer on my hair because it's too drying for me. But I bought it back when I was in my little, oh, this is really cool, ordering online, and the UPS driving up the driveway, the sound of that UPS pulling up. I was kind of hooked on that for a little while. I've been on the wagon for a long time with my, ooh, this is fun ordering online. But I had gotten that dryer online, and there's all kinds of deals a lot of times. And so, no, it was not expensive. Oh, I don't know. I must have spent a lot of money when I was in that phase. Let's see. Transparent. Let's see. Okay, let me see. I'm looking. Series 1. Yes. Okay, so you want to know more about this paint. Not the blow dryer, I'm guessing now. Okay. So this Brilliant Blue is a Series 1. So it was about $10. And the manganese blue hue, which you could also use in its place, which is probably a better paint. It's also Series 1, but it's a little bit more expensive. And then there's another color that's in a similar family that's way more expensive, and I can't remember the name of it. But it has that same, like, really aqua Hawaiian blue color, and that's what I love about it. All right, so now that I have done that first layer, I'm going to dip. Can you see what I did? Yes. I have my Titan Buff on my, I just threw it on top of my manganese blue, right? So I don't like that flat color. So I'm just going to throw a little bit of this in a few places. Get my blue out and just kind of blend it together a little bit. Okay, so that's what I'm doing right there. Just didn't want it flat. like someone painted a wall. You want a little bit of color variation. So that helped. Okay, and then later we'll put some true clouds on there. Okay, so that helped a little bit. Maybe a little bit over here, a little over here. Throw some blue on here. Throw some blue back on my palette, just a little bit, just so I could blend some more on there and just give it a little more of a natural look. So I didn't want it. Now you don't have to do it this way. You can mix a little bit of both together when you put that first layer on. The only problem with that is sometimes your coverage isn't as good as you think it is, and you did all that pretty stuff and then you realize you have to go over it again with another coat. This keeps you from having to do that. Okay, so I'm just throwing a little bit on here and just blending it in a little bit with the blue. Okay, and so when that dries, it's going to have that look a little bit more like a sky with some cirrus clouds in it, and that's what that was about. Okay, let's see. All right, I'm just checking to make sure no one's talking to me, babe. Don't forget to let me know.
Okay, nobody again.
Okay. Now, I'm going to skip the sky for a little while, and I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to play around with this bottom part of the canvas, because this is not going to be, the whole thing is not going to be that light, but I'm skipping around to allow my sky area to dry a little bit. So I'm looking to see if you can see my canvas, see my palette. Okay, I'm putting a little bit of yellow ochre on there, and just as a tip, I have switched from the one brand tube and put another brand's top on it. And if you don't paint often and the correct brand that goes with the metal tube has the correct top on it, those little teeny tops are very, very hard to get off when they're dry, when they're really dry and you haven't used that tube of paint in a while. So these are interchangeable. Okay, so I have mismatched tubes and paint because I struggled today, so I remembered that tip. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to use a decent sized medium brush this time, and I'm dipping into my yellow ochre. Oh, I need a sip of coffee. This is going to be kind of a fast painting. Okay, so other people have the similar experience with the cap, so I switch the caps around. So my yellow ochre, I'm going to apply on not the entire canvas, or not on the entire light part of the canvas, just on the parts of the canvas where some of the water is wet. And when the water's wet, what's it look like? Oh, I need to dip that. Speaking of wet that a little bit. When the water is wet, that part of the sand is darker, correct? So,
That's a big coffee,
yeah. Yeah, well, I worked all night last night, and then I knew I had the painting to do, so I stayed up and got set up to see if that would take the pressure off of just before you guys show up, and it really did. So I was able to take an hour nap and not have to fly in here and worry about my technical settings. So that was kind of nice. So I don't know, the staying up part, I might be able to rush that along a little bit so I'm not staying up so late. when I get home, because I get home around, I say around 8 o'clock in the morning from working. And now, so you see a little division there. We're going to fix that. This is where the ultramarine blue is going to come into the picture. So I have some ultramarine blue on my palette. I don't know how much of this painting you can see. I'll slide it over just a little bit. You see enough of it to get the picture, and I want it as close up as possible, and then toward the end I'm going to back off a little so you can see the whole thing. Need one of those. Oh, Big Coffee. Who's this? Leanne. Oh, you had a big night with Charlie. Oh, you still tired? So this is Leanne's morning. For those of you that don't know, she's in Australia. I hope this is dry enough for me to do this. So what I'm doing right now is putting my T-square on my canvas, and I'm going to draw my line with my angle brush. I should just do it with my chalk. I think I will. Where's my chalk? I'm going to draw my line with my chalk right here. Okay. There it is. So my line was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, so I really didn't even need this. Shock. Because I am not the best at horizontal lines. And now I'm going to go ahead and go across, looking at where I'm going as opposed to where I am, kind of like driving a car. I think I'll come this direction. And that's what I wanted to do there. Okay. All right. I want to go up a little higher. I really came down too low for that. So I'm going to go up higher. And do the same thing, much higher, and do the same thing. Oh, maybe George would clean this off for me. I want to skip the chalk part and just do this. This is really what I wanted to do. So maybe a little more than an hour's sleep would have helped. And I want to go across here and make my horizontal line. Probably need to wet my brush to make that a smooth line. And then go all the way across with my ultramarine blue. This is my ultramarine blue. So I'm going across. This part of the painting is not as dry as I'd like it to be. So I'm just going to dry this off so you can see it better. Turned you back up. I'm going to go across here with my ultramarine blue. Don't worry about that bottom part. That was like a little bit of a oops, because I'm skipping around. We will fix that easily. So as you can tell, this is the water, and this is the horizon line on the water. I like this combination of that ultramarine blue. It's such a cool color against the against that aqua color. It's just such a pretty contrast. So I'm trying to make my horizon line as straight as possible. It might not be, but it's okay. All right. Now I'm going to go back to my Brilliant Blue and my Titan Buff, kind of wet that a little bit, and I'm going to come down here, and this doesn't have to be straight, okay? And I'm even going to dip a little bit into my sand, to my wet sand, okay? And that doesn't have to be straight. And I'm going to come up a little bit with my combination of my blue and my Brilliant Blue and my Titan Buff. And now I'm going to dip a little bit into my Ultramarine Blue and my Brilliant Blue up here. It's very hot in here, so everything is like turning into glue pretty fast. Even though I'm trying to keep it wet. All my spray bottles have gotten a little dried out. Now I'm going up into my horizon line with this mixture of the three colors. The three colors, which are my Ultramarine Blue, my Brilliant Blue, and my Titan White. I'm coming up here into my horizon line. Okay, so I made that less obvious, more blended, and you see where these colors are looking really pretty together. You see that? And then my Brilliant Blue to finish it off. Wet that a little. Boy, it's so dry in here. Okay. So you see the difference right there where it looks like the water's changing as far as the depth of the water is concerned. That's kind of changing. And then it's getting more shallow. And it's doing some spillage. Okay. All right. And I just dipped into some Titan White, Titan Buff to lighten this up a little. Throwing some Titan Buff on here. This is like a really fun, easy going, relax, listen to some music kind of painting. You see that? You see what I'm saying? It really is. So you see the lightest part right here. So that's kind of it. Now, let me see if I get your opinion on here. Let's see, where did I go? No sleep. Oh, people understand. Okay. Seeing the family. All right. Everybody's visiting with family. Summer is officially here, so I have to like put my mind into winter almost officially here for Leanne. Okay. Okay, so this is nice. Everybody's encouraging each other. That's what I love about our group here on YouTube. Okay. You like that? It's, you know, it looks a little more realistic on it looks a little bit more realistic on your end. I'm like really liking your end of it. Okay. All right, so here's what I'm going to do, guys. I am going to deepen this because it really is a little bit deeper on my end. So I'm going to deepen it. Let's see, bring it down. It is more like that. It's much more like nighttime. But you can go either way. But it is much more like nighttime on my end. Okay, now we're going to play a little bit with the whites. So I'm putting some titanium white. I was out of titanium white. I had to pick some up earlier today. Another reason why I stayed up. And some Titan Buff. And I'm going to combine those a little bit. And I'm going to give that, oh, that was zinc white. Oh, that's all right. That didn't hurt anything. Where's my Titan Buff? It's got to be in here somewhere. All right, I'm losing paints. Oh, here it is. It's hiding. Okay, so I'm going to throw some Titan Buff on there. The zinc white's definitely not going to hurt anything. That'll come into play too. But right now I'm going to combine some Titan Buff and some titanium white. And I'm going to take one of these brushes over here. I think more of a round brush because I don't want sharp edges on this. And I'm going to mix a little bit of the Titan Buff and the zinc white, let's see, together. See if you could see that. Am I going the wrong direction? No, that's correct. Okay. I'm going to mix a little bit this together. And I'm going to do that ziggity zaggity thing, a little zigzag here of the not so much in the parts that go up, but a little bit of that. A little I'll throw watering it down a little bit. And just trying to get some sea foam going. Get a little sea foam going. And I don't like to put it at the top of my sand as much, that part that goes upward, because then it gives it a weird thing. And I'm just going to come down a little bit with this. Right now I have my dipped into the yellow ochre a little bit. Trying to soften that edge up some. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is dip back into my whites. And then put a little bit of a in between. And I'm going to smudge it. So it's not going to be so corny obvious. Okay. Now I'm going to smudge it a little bit. Okay.
You have someone new on.
Somebody new here that we don't know?
Vanessa.
Hi, Vanessa. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to dip into just touch into my blue and soften that up a little bit. A little bit of sea foamy stuff going on. And then I'm going to go into my zinc white. And then just do one of these. Okay. And then I want to touch back into my touch back into my yellow ochre. Feels like I killed a brush recently. Huh. Back into my yellow ochre and just smush that a little bit so that it's not so obvious and not such a perfect little circle. And give it more of a beachy look here. Okay, so there we go. Now what I'm going to do is take my yellow ochre and I'm going to come down a little bit more under here. Very lightly so that it's a lighter. And come down here very, very lightly. And then, all right, so I've played around with that quite a bit. Let me see what it looks like for you guys. Okay. And then a little bit of a jagged. Okay, a little bit of that. Okay, so I got a little fluff going on. So I did that again. And then if you want to, you can dip your zinc white into your yellow ochre and then make it so that it's not, and do it horizontal, not up and down, so the sand is not so clean. So you can have some like little footprints just by a little bit of a fluff of some zinc white and barely any yellow ochre, and just give it a little bit of a horizontal fluff coming downward into the corner. And so now you have a little bit of a footprint and your sand is not so untouched. Okay, so that kind of took care of my beach part. Well, this is the bottom of the canvas right here. This is my easel. Who said they can't see? Yep, this is the bottom right here. So I have a delay. Let me see. Let's see. Okay, here it is. So you pretty much saw it. This is pretty much it. And like I said, a little bit later, I will zoom out. But this is it. This is the bottom of my canvas. This is the side. So I'm right there. This is the other side. And this is the top. So, who's here? Let me see if I can focus my eyeballs on you guys. Let's see. So we have Vanessa. Juliet, how are you? Howdy. So, okay, so we had someone else come in. Now, the only thing we have left to do is, we have a couple things left to do. What time is it? We're going to put a moon in here. Yes, we are. We're going to put a moon in here. And what I'm going to do is, what did I use before for the moon? I used one of my caps, I believe. Not sure. Let's see. What will I use for the moon? I am going to go ahead and use my top of my brilliant blue, and I'm going to dip it into my white and scare you guys, and take some of the, smush some of it off here, smush some of it off. Okay, and then I'm going to use this as my little template for my moon. So I'm going to put my moon, I say I'll put my moon right here and not wiggle it around too much. Did not wiggle it around enough. Let me see, I smooshed too much of it off. Let me get right back to where I was. Okay, so this is my moon template, and then what I'm going to do is go into my white, my titanium white. I'm going to take my angle brush and I'm going to use it like a compass and twirl it, and then I'm going to go into the center again, whoop, use it like a compass and twirl it this direction, like that. Kind of hard to do that on an easel, but anyway, that's kind of my moon right there. Okay, so if I want to get a little bit more perfect with it, I will take the canvas off the easel and get it a little rounder. But anyway, that's my moon right there. So it's not as hard as it looks, and the fact that it's a little see-through makes it look a little bit more realistic, because it gives it more of a shadow. And I might put a little horizontal line through it. Okay, a little bit more of a cloud through there. Okay, so that's my moon. Now, another thing I'm going to add in the water is a sailboat. So I want to make my brush nice and sharp with the white. So I'm going to sharpen that up a little bit. And I'm going to go straight down in, I'm going to start in the sky, just a touch, about 1 inch, and I'm going to go straight down. And I'm going to go like that with my sail. Okay, so that's one direction. And I use my angle brush, to help me with my straight lines. Okay, and then I'm going to try not to meet up totally in the middle with this, and I'm going to start just a smidgen down and make my sail. I'm trying to leave a little bit of a gap and make my sail that goes this direction. Okay, and then I am going to go across, and I'm going to use that ultramarine blue, and I'm going to go across like this, use some white, and then come down and go across like this, and there's my sailboat. And at some point, don't let me forget, I'm going to throw a piece of red in that sailboat. Okay, that's almost the picture. And I have one more thing, because you know, if you think in terms of thirds. Okay, Yvonne, good night. We're almost done. I have one more element to throw in, but you go ahead and get your rest, because I'm not going to encourage anybody to stay up any longer. And we're going to probably end right on time. So I have one more element to throw in there in my rule of thirds. I'm going to throw something else in here, and I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. And of course, I need some burnt umber. We are going to put a palm tree in this painting. So I'm going to remove this palette paper right here. Put it off to the, whew, that was close. I'm going to put some burnt umber on here. Can you see that? Okay. And actually, I want to put my head in the way. That's what I want to do. And I'm going to put a palm tree in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go just like this. I'm going to make my line go into the corner across everything. And why that feels so scary, I have no idea. I want it a little thicker than that. I'm going to go across everything. Some of my water. Into this corner, and I'm making my trunk of my palm tree right here. Okay, so the bottom part of it's going to be fat, of course. This is fun. Okay, and the top part's going to be a little bit more oh, like this. Okay. All right. Now, we're going to have some cad yellow on the palette. And I'm going to take advantage of my blues that I just threw on the floor. I need to bring my palette paper back. So I didn't mean to actually, I didn't throw it away, but I kind of sailed it to the floor. Pick that up, because I really need this. And I'm going to put this right back where I need it, because I am not going to throw my blues away. All right, because I need that for my palms. Okay, so I'm going to wipe off my brush, and I'm going to dip into my yellows, and I'm going to dip a little bit into the blue, either blue, you'll get different effects. So I dipped it into the brilliant blue, and I'm going to try to use the lighter colors of my palms towards the moon. So I'm going to go like this, just to give myself a guide. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to put some, I'll use my ultramarine blue and have some darker ones like this. And I'm going to have one hanging down real low like that. And one like this. And one like this. Okay. Now I don't know how good you can see that, but I will make it so that you can see it better. So I'm going to make my palms. Now with this angle brush, which is my favorite brush to use, as you probably know that by now, I am going to lighten up this side of it. So I'm just going to make straight lines, and I'm going to go from fatter to skinnier to show how easy that is. I'm going to do the same thing, but you got to wet this a little bit so it'll go on smoother. I'm going to do the same thing on this one because I want these to be the lighter palms. Okay. And then this one, I'll make it look, oops. And then this side, I'm going to add a little bit of green to this side. So far, I have one side. Okay, I'm just putting my second side on my one palm. And I'm going to go a little darker in between. I'm going to go darker yet on these bottom ones, so I'm dipping into my ultramarine blue. These are all the colors that I used before. So I'm going to dip into my ultramarine blue down here. Okay, a little bit lighter under here to catch some reflection. Okay, then I'm going to put a little bit of yellow on the top of this one. I don't know, is everybody watching, honey? Because when I'm not looking at the screen, I have no idea if people could see what I'm doing. Somebody from where? Oregon. Oh, that's a part of the world I have not seen. I'm dipping a little bit into my yellow ochre for a little variation here. Okay, and my yellow ochre, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to fan this one out. I'm still going to curve it down so that it meets in the middle, but I wanted to fan that top part out, starting from the outside edge. See, now it looks like the wind was blowing. I'll go up here and fill in that little gap a little bit. See how the wind was blowing on that one?
Leanne's asking, do you know that they can't see
Well, I'm just mixing my yellows and my greens, so I'm kind of shouting it out. This is one of those things where you got to keep your focus on your canvas or you lose it. But I'm just dipping variations and I'm shouting them out as I go. So you see some variations there where I hit the yellows and then I hit the blues and the greens, and you're not going to be able to see everything because I'm going into my blues that I used earlier in the painting with the water. So I'm switching over from my lighter blue, my brilliant blue mixed with the yellow, to my ultramarine blue mixed with the yellow, and then I go into my straight yellow ochre and hit parts of those leaves. So that's all I'm doing is playing around, and the lights and darks is what makes things show up on any plants. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm doing, and I'm trying to keep my darkest parts pretty much towards the bottom of the painting of the tree. So doesn't matter where you start as long as you know the shape that you're trying to achieve. And you definitely have to have some water on this brush from time to time so you don't forget that. Alright, so now I'm just gonna, this is going towards me, so I'm kind of going a different direction now just to make it a little easier. Okay, so you kind of get the gist of that. And now I'm going to go into my yellow ochre and kind of finish this off a little bit. Okay.
Leanne says okay, she just wanted to let you know.
Okay. So I kind of been playing around. Now I have to move this over so you guys can see. Whoa, now that I switched palettes, I think I'm going to switch back over to the to just the canvas so you guys can see the whole thing. There you go. So now you see how that tree shaped up. I'm going to go into my green, and I'm going to make a I'm going to make one go right through that moon because that's too much of an obvious trying to, so I'm going to go whoop straight into that moon with one of my branches there. Okay. All right, so that looks a lot more realistic. Now I'm going to go into my, remember my zinc whites and my beiges and all of that? I'm going to smash some of that into my burnt umber and just make this look a little bit more palmy and realistic. I'm going to pull out my red for a little surprise color. I think I threw that down here too. I threw all my stuff that I don't use. So one of my reds, whatever kind of red, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to put a really skinny quick stripe across that boat. And then I'm going to call it finished. I don't know if you guys like this or not, but it's, to me, it's kind of dreamy. And I'm kind of liking it. I'm just going to go across this boat really quick little red line so you can see it. And then I'm going to go and hit the bottom of that boat with a really dark blue line just so that you can see it. And that's it. Now, I'm going to zero in on these so that you can see them a little better. So I'm going to go back into my canvas because that's pretty much it. So I'm going to zero in on it so you can see it better. And let's see if I could zoom it more. Let's see if I could zoom it. Oh, it's zoomed in as much as possible. Let me pan out a little bit. If I pan out, no, I don't want to pan out. So let me just hold it closer. That's going to be the only thing I could do for you guys to see everything. Okay, I'm going to hold it a little closer. And I have a delay, so be patient with me if I'm way off the mark. But I want you to see the color a little bit better. Bring it down. Bring it down. Bring it closer. There. Can you guys see that better now? So this is it. There's the boat. There's the sand. There's the moon. And that's it. So I just wanted you guys to see that, see the reflection of the moon onto the palm tree. I hope you like that. I know somebody that's gonna like it, Tina. She's probably busy with company. And I'm gonna switch back over so I can see you. Okay. Let's see, I got a lot of stuff going on here. Where are you? Are you on here? Let me see now. Let me switch over. Hang on. Hang on. There you are. All right, guys. I hope you like that. What time is it? 8? Yay! That's getting to be almost like, ooh, some kind of miracle. Well, my hair's looking a little crazy. What was I doing? Bending over? Oh. So let's see who's here still. Leanne. Okay, Leanne, are you the only one left? Did I lose everybody? Hop on here and say bye to me, folks. Oh, Avalon, you know what? I have seen you before. Thank you very much. I have seen your name before. I know for sure. Oh, thanks for visiting us. Thank you very much. And thank you everyone for coming. I hope you enjoyed it. I have lots of videos on here. If you have problems with chronic pain, which a lot of people do, I have fibro vlogs on here that cover a lot of different subjects of things we go through so that you don't feel alone. If you don't or do have chronic pain, enjoy any of the other videos. We have mostly videos that are uplifting, upbuilding, lift your spirits and your mood a little bit. You want to put yourself in them. And they are pretty much loosely painted, so that if you're a beginner, it's not too hard to get into it, so you can practice with some of these videos as well. But one of the biggest things we like to do is get on here and chat with each other, see how each other are doing. That's something that is hard to do when you are just texting, straight text, as opposed to chatting here, so in real time. So thank you for coming. Come see us again. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you are a person with chronic pain, come over to Facebook and find us. Painting with Fibromyalgia, we should pop up. Okay, thanks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks a lot. See you later. Hit that little bell if you want to be notified when I'm on again. Okay, bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.